we should discuss the ETF approval, which we may be witnessing. You need cryptocurrency taxes this week. Must be aware of, since this is going to be crucial. Many people made earnings last year. You must pay your taxes this year. I'll let you be aware of the necessary information. Since it involves rules, we will be discussing the correction. HSBC Ripple partner for the wise transfer. Hold off until you view the updated item. Arrived, and after that, we'll review and analyze the XRP to Bitcoin chart. And after that, since the XRP chart is looking great, we'll examine it. All of that will happen in this video, so settle down, unwind, and let's get started. Where did I say this look at the entire market capitalization of cryptocurrencies was heading? 1.75 trillion right now. Where are we? 1.76. We struck a magnet, like I said. Those objectives in the past 24 hours, Bitcoin has increased 6.3%, reaching $4,475. Ethereum, $23.98, up 3.97%. Since USDC dropped from $1.02 to $1.01, USDT is approaching $1, indicating that more money is still available to join the markets. People XR are P2.19%. I am aware of how slow and behind I am. For us XRP holders, nothing is new in this. Arriving at 6:35. I am unable to speak this morning, but I am now watching 63 cents as a cryptocurrency because I believe there is going to be a significant breakout in this market. I believe XLM is going to see a significant upswing in price. But where do we go from here, people? We climb a little bit higher, I believe. I believe we're seeing a little bit of this as a big week because it was reported that the SEC would give the go-ahead for Bitcoin ETF applicants to launch their products by next week. However, sources from BlackRock told Fox Business that approval is now likely to come by the end of this week. Only time will tell if there is a correction. It's coming, people, and it's not priced in. I wholeheartedly concur with the notion that exchange-traded funds, ETFs, are coming and are not priced in. Perhaps we'll learn by this week's end that these ETFs will begin right away. I might be in error. Here, I never would have guessed that they would have unveiled ETFs this week. That their launch is imminent. Quick, I had assumed there would be a slight wait between the announcement and the official debut of the ETF. Time will tell. But Jeremy Hogan posted this beautiful thread in which he is quite generous in discussing the profits of cryptocurrencies. We're now debating between the short and long term, and I'll break it down. If you owned a cryptocurrency for fewer than a year or 365 days, it would be quite easy. You will have to pay a lot more because it will be viewed as a short-term capital gain. The breakdown is as follows. If you're single, you'll make 10% if your income is under $11,000. If it's between $11 and $44, you'll make 12%. 44 to 95, 22%. And if your income exceeds $578, you will pay an even higher tax rate of 37%. If you're a long-term capital gainer, it's just common sense. That isn't the case. It's not horrible, just bad. Single up to 44,000 from 0% to 492,000, 15% and 20%. I'm going to presume that the majority of us fall into the 15% rate if you're over 492. It's not too horrible. I believed it to be worse and that they would try to take between 40 and 50%. It's not that bad. It's almost like they're playing the lotto. However, pay attention to this crucial advice. Make sure to pay your taxes last. Making a lot of money is what you want to accomplish. Can skimp on taxes if you rely on cryptocurrency. And the next time they target you, they just grab everything. See, you did it correctly. Finish it so you won't have to worry about anything and can return to your happily ever after. Is it finished? Reliable Cryptocurrency believes that we precisely hit both of our downside objectives on Ethereum and Bitcoin. Charts that I discussed in my previous video update, and we just printed a cleaner, low impulse to the upside on Bitcoin over the last day or so, from his perspective. The correction is gone, and there is still room for more than 40,000. From 38 to 40,000 as anticipated, the gap is still unfilled, which is why everyone has been discussing that CME. The gap that was hovering about 40,000 to suddenly realize, oh, we're going to drop again. We're going to make it happen. The CME gap will force us to flunk it. Recall that not every CME gap needs to be closed, so we're going to overlook this one, according to reliable crypto experts. Believes that the correction has been made. Sending Bitcoin over $50,000 is now appropriate. As of right now, there are 45,000 Bitcoins. Market cap for cryptocurrencies, 1.76. Is there any chance of a push to 50K? We will receive the information within the next several days. Let me tell you something, if the ETF approval goes through, you're going to see this thing flying. Everyone in the cryptocurrency space is going to have an incredible year, not just Bitcoin or Ethereum, but all of it, this year. XRP has dropped the Bitcoin ETF in this instance. The groundwork for a more controlled market will be laid with approval. From H. Hamad, this is being said. Coinbase, the $30 trillion advised form of wealth management industry in the United States, is currently unable to access the $30 trillion asset class that is currently resting on the sidelines. People are investing in cryptocurrencies now, and there are no restrictions and no approved ETFs. Take a listen to this video. However, FTX does not have the right in the wake-off, and I mean this internationally. Lacks an appropriate regulatory structure. Must be met for the Bitcoin ETF to see those secular flows you mentioned as Hassan when it does launch at 100%. This is, in my opinion, one of the major developments related to the ETF as well, though in the US although the discussion is still in its early stages, ETF is beginning to take shape. And the SEC is allowing it to happen. Indicates that the weight and demand for this asset class are simply too great to be ignored. And what does it do now? Is it getting worse? D gives these asset managers and allocators a kind of dependable and compliant avenue to access this, stigmatizing and legitimizing a certain aspect of this asset class. This asset is fantastic. Cheers to a new year. Let's talk about the SEC's planned approval of Bitcoin exchange-traded funds, ETFs. How soon do you think that will happen? What will the size of this be? To be honest, this has been discussed and worked on for years and years. The industry has been working on this for almost 10 years. A few years ago, the futures ETF was approved, and then some legal opinions were made based on the fact that there weren't enough structural differences between a futures ETF and a spot ETF. This, in my opinion, also somewhat forced the hand of the secretary to get us to this point. How near are we now? It's not a done deal, but the market and consensus seem to indicate that this is sort of getting closer, especially as signaled by the level of technical questions and diligence that the SEC team has been doing with these issuers. Well, January 10th is the deadline that everyone is sort of looking at in terms of whether the SEC formally approves it or refers it further. What will the size of this be? Well, one way to look at it, or one indication to consider, is that the U.S. wealth management business, which manages $30 trillion in assets under control, is currently unable to obtain this category of assets. As you are aware, wealth managers, such as Merrill Lynch, UBS, and other companies, have a certain method of doing things and building client portfolios. Their clients have been asking them to do this for years. Hey, I only want exposure to this asset class and to have all of my holdings in one location. Regardless of whether it's for value growth, whether it be for hedging, inflation hedging, fiat, and so on, as a result, I believe that this will improve the efficiency of these portfolios and that they will begin to be advised. That will make a big statement soon. Trillion from a wealth management organization that has been waiting patiently to gain exposure until 2024 will undoubtedly be an exciting experience. Mike Manfield, we aim to become a worldwide hub for international payments, aligning flawlessly with HSBC's international payment strategy. We anticipate seeing you in Asia and the Middle East soon, as well as in the EU markets, where HSBC and Ripple have strong ties. HSBC and MCO are set to participate in a panel discussion about custody and keeping various stables and cryptocurrency investments. The discussion will focus on the transfer of funds via their money transfer app. I'm eager to see what results you get from it. Everyone is now focusing on this XRP of the BTC chart as YGRKRYP displays the chart, gives you the 2 TOS, and travels to the gateway, the Helium gateway, zooming in where we are at the break above. Recall that we demonstrated it only the other day. Although there is still a chance for a 20% breakdown of the XRP to Bitcoin chart, which would indicate that it is time for XRP to run and continue rising. If we look at the XRP chart overall, Nick says, look at this. Here's the XRP to USD exchange rate. The chart is bullish. This line is seen here. 63 cents, which has proven to be an extremely strong wall of resistance. You can see that we talked about it back in 2017. Observe 2021, we are once again above. When discussing a crypto floor, this is the floor that comes to mind. Folks, you know the adage goes, the longer the base, the higher we go in space. This floor is enormous. This is going to take off, and we will compensate for any shortfall with a bull run that the SEC caused us to miss out on the previous bull market. Therefore, we will constantly blow by and smoke XRP. Everyone, give it some time. Everything is going to hit this item, including partnerships and the news. Instantly, and XRP will be visible to you. Explode, take off like you've never, as was previously observed. Every chart indicates that it will happen shortly and is extremely bullish. And you even need to mention that